Welcome back. So today we are again going to discuss about pharmaceutical patents and about the concept of evergreening. We had mentioned about pharmaceutical patents in Section 3, Clause 3 of Patents Act of 1970, but then it requires too much of deliberation because it has been discussed in various Supreme Court cases and also in light of the amendments made in the Patents Act in 2005 subject to the TRIPS Agreement. So, because of all these reasons, pharmaceutical patents is a talk of the day. It's also a proliferating industry. So, because of all these reasons, it is very important to learn a few things about the pharmaceutical patents and how patent is acquired in India for pharmaceutical products. So, first, let us look into the Indian scenario. Now, India is a developing nation, and this developing nation is constantly in conflict with very big MNCs, multinational corporations producing pharmaceutical products. And earlier, we did not have product patents for pharmaceutical products, but uh, due to TRIPS agreement, India had a compliance requirement, so they had to amend the existing patent regime. And prior to the 2005 position, the rejection of product patents in the pharmaceutical sector for more than 30 years has created an opportunity for the development of generic drug industry in India. And because of this reason, India is also known as the de facto pharmacy for developing countries. That was the position before 2005. Now, after 2005, the minimum standards agreement called the TRIPS agreement, India was part of WTO, so India automatically became a member state to TRIPS agreement also. So they had to comply with the amendments or with the changes in the TRIPS. So accordingly, they had to bring about changes in the existing patent law to bring it in tune with the TRIPS agreement. So after 2005, what happened? After 2005, what happened was, since product patents were also introduced into the pharmaceutical product industry, there was monopoly and high price. Monopoly in the sense that it negatively impacted the Indian generic industry by reducing its market share and allowing multinational pharmaceutical innovator companies to monopolize the market. Because even also due to the LPG policies, India had to open up the markets, and therefore there was a rush of MNCs, especially pharmaceutical industries, into the Indian economic sector, and they established their monopoly over the generic Indian made drugs. And also majority of the drugs, especially life-saving drugs, they were highly priced because the interest of the public would be compromised because of the high prices at which such patented medicines would be sold. So because of these reasons, India had to do something in such a way that they are not descending the TRIPS minimum standards requirement, but at the same time, public interest is also given due recognition and consideration that high prices, because of this high price burden, nobody's the patients are not getting the drugs at low cost. So they had to do something to bring a balance to these conflicting interests. One is an international obligation, another is a national obligation. So, for this reason, let's see what India did. So this is the history itself. Because during the World War II, we had the growth of pharmaceutical industry. India was a very big contributor in terms of production and even the general access to drugs, but it did not have a lack of. It did not have a comprehensive insurance system, especially health insurance system. And also there was a WTO TRIPS in 1994. All these were the history regarding pharmaceutical industries. Now, from 1995 to 2002, once India became a member to TRIPS, there was a transition period of 10 years. 10 years was given to the member state, especially to developing states, so that they can use these 10 years to bring about adequate changes into their municipal laws, municipal in intellectual property laws. That is for a term of 10 years, that is from 1995 to 2005. So from 1995 to 2002, there was a mailbox system in the sense that India was soliciting applications from product patents from the applicants of products for the term of patents, because earlier we had only process patents. So even for product patents, such applications were solicited, and that was known as a mailbox system. Everything was kept in the mails, and they were examined for examination. In 2002, the patent protection was extended to 20 years. That is a minimum standard requirement. In compliance with the minimum standard requirement, it was extended to 20 years patent protection for both processes and products. And in 2005, there was full patent protection to pharmaceutical products, and also Section 3 Clause D was amended. So, this is how India tried to balance the conflicting theories. By giving full patent protection to pharmaceutical products, it was complying with the international obligation. By amending Section 3 Clause D, it was complying with the national obligation, so that the subjects, the Indian citizens, or the population of India is getting drugs at very low cost, or they were basically trying to avoid evergreening of drugs. We'll come to that concept later. Now, let's see the types of pharmaceutical patents. That is, what all things under pharmaceutical industry can be patented? First one is drug compound patents, or also known as Marrakesh claims, because these patents claim a drug compound by its chemical structure per se. So every drug, every medicine that you take, there'll be chemical structure behind it. That chemical structure is patented. That is known as Marrakesh claims, and this is a claim with multiple functionally equivalent chemical entities elapsed in one or more parts of the drug compound. So that is the chemical structure being patented. Next one is the formulation of the composition patents. That is, these patents claim a specific technology to prepare a formulation and the quantity of its key ingredients. Every medicine will be a composition of various chemical components, and that too, the quantity differs. 30 gram, 50 gram, 100 gram, etc. It differs. So that also is important. And in India, we have a patent, that is Ayurvedic antiretroviral composition for treatment of AIDS, was claimed in Indian patent. That was given patent because it was actually a specific technology was adopted for combining Ayurvedic antiretroviral composition. So there also the composition was patented. That is composition in its correct quantities, because if the quantity changes a little bit there or here, the total efficacy of the total nature and efficacy of the medicine itself changes. So the quantity and the quality and the components are very important when it comes to pharmaceutical patents. Next one is synergistic combination patents. It is uh, earlier we have already said what synergy is. Synergy is 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. Synergy occurs when two or more drugs interact with each other in such a way that enhances or magnifies one or more effects of these drugs, and the patents can be obtained on new synergistic combinations of these drugs. That is, the synergy is patented rather than the combination or the quantity. The synergy is patented. Next one is polymorph patent. Polymorph patents are the different physical forms or the crystal structure of an already known compound, and the polymorphs are usually prepared to reduce impurities or to increase the stability of the compounds. Next one is biotechnology patents. Biotechnology patents involves the use of living organisms or the existing biological materials in the preparation of pharmaceutical products. And these biotechnology patents cover a wide range of diagnostic, therapeutic, and immunological products. That is, for example, in India, we have a claim for a patent was given the claim, granted the patent for the invention of an aqueous human serum, which is albumin free. So that was developed through biotechnological processes. Next one is process patent. That is, it does not claim the product per se, but then it covers the new and the inventive step, that the inventive process to produce a particular pharmaceutical product. You could use a new way of producing the same product. That is being patented through process patents. So, a very important case when coming to the uh, learning about pharmaceutical products, evergreening, etc. is Novartis AG versus Union of India. So let's look into that. So this is a Supreme Court seminal work on interpretation of Section 3 Clause D, the amended section, and this is a long 7-year period of litigation. And now here, the one party is the appellant is Swiss company Novartis. It is a giant multinational corporation. It is developing a drug for leukemia called Glyvec. Now, the patent was denied in India because during that time, when Novartis applied for patent in India, during that time, India were not providing patents for products, only for processes. So, obviously, they were not getting. But then later on, after TRIPS, they applied again. So now they were applying for the product itself. Now this Glyvec, it had filed patents around the world, and they had got patents for that also. Almost in 40 countries they had patents for the same product. And it was actually a synthesis of beta crystalline version of molecule imatinib. Imatinib is used for treatment of leukemia. Now, beta crystalline BC version is a polymorph of the molecule imatinib. So we have already learned about the polymorph. Now the resulting drug is currently patented in 40 countries. Now it was rejected. The first place, it was the application was sent in the first for the first time to the Madras Patent Office, and it was rejected on the ground that it is unpatentable modification of an existing substance imatinib. So we already have an existing substance called imatinib. BC version of molecule imatinib is its polymorph version, and that is already there. That is only an modification of the existing substance. So it will be denied. That was their content. That was their reason for rejecting patents. The Patent Office concluded that Glyvec failed to show novelty and inventiveness as well as increased efficacy as required by the law. Section 3 Clause D says that there should be increased efficiency. Novelty and inventiveness are already there. That is the first tier of standard. Now, the second, if they have not yet crossed the first tier. So, and also there is no increased efficacy. So, because of all these reasons, they said that they are not going to give patents. Now, the Novartis contended that Section 3 Clause D was not compliant with TRIPS, and that Section 3 Clause D was vague, ambiguous, and in violation of Article 14 of Constitution of India because it was discriminatory against Novartis. So now let's see from where it went. So first it went to the Madras Patent Office. There it was denied. An appeal was preferred to Madras High Court. From there to Intellectual Property Appellate Board, and from there to Supreme Court. That's why the 7-year litigation. So IPAB held that while the claim covering the beta crystalline version of imatinib mesylate is both novel, inventive, and non-obvious, so they are admitting that it is a new version itself. But it fails the test under Section 3 Clause D, which requires a demonstration of significantly enhanced efficacy. The only kind of efficacy that would satisfy Section 3 Clause D is therapeutic efficacy. Novartis BC version may possess improved bioavailability, thermodynamic stability, improved flow properties, and lower hygroscopicity, but this does not amount to an increase in therapeutic efficacy over its pre-existing form Zimmermann patent. So there is already a Zimmermann patent, and they are actually doing modifications over the existing one, and they are claiming efficacy. It is more efficient than the prior art. It is non-obvious. These were the contentions of Novartis, but then IPAB is totally negating all these contentions by saying that there are a lot of enhanced qualities for the new BC version, but that doesn't mean that it has achieved the standard. It has not crossed the standard of enhanced efficacy. Now, these were the issues before the Supreme Court. First one is, according to the provisions of Section 3, Clause D, what is a known substance? Next one is, according to the same provision, what is the meaning of efficacy? Now, whether increase in bioavailability qualify as increase in therapeutic efficacy. So, efficacy means therapeutic efficacy. So, will this particular quality qualifies as therapeutic efficacy? And whether the invention BC form of imatinib mesylate claimed by Novartis is more efficacious than substance that is derived from imatinib mesylate. So it is already the BC version, that is a polymorph version. So whether that polymorph version is more efficacious. So these were the questions before Supreme Court. Now the decision of Supreme Court, that there is a new test of enhanced, the gist of the case is this line. There is a new test of enhanced therapeutic efficacy for claims that cover incremental changes to existing drugs. That is, in addition to the traditional test of novelty, non-obviousness, applicability, etc. In case of pharmaceutical products, a new test of enhanced therapeutic efficacy is also to be proved if the drugs are to be patented. And the Section 3 Clause D aims to prevent evergreening of patents by providing that only those pharmaceutical derivatives that demonstrate significantly enhanced efficacy can be patented, and the burden is on the applicant to show that there is significantly enhanced efficacy over the existing drugs, over the existing chemical compounds, over the existing prior art. So it is a very big burden itself, and then Novartis had failed in doing that. And Section 3 Clause D ensures that new forms can be patented only if they are really meritorious, and thus patents shall not be granted for trivial inventions. It also throws light on the Indian government's policy of rewarding the inventors, researchers on their true intellectual efforts, and at the same time preserving the public interest and making them available essential commodities such as drugs at affordable prices. As we said, the international and the national requirements are being dealt through Section 3 Clause D's interpretation. And Supreme Court in its judgment made clear that India is a developing country and the availability of medicines at a cheaper rate is necessary for the lives of 1 billion people. And this is a final conclusion. Novartis failed to prove the therapeutic efficacy of beta-crystalline form of imatinib mesylate is more as compared to the therapeutic efficacy of imatinib mesylate, so that the application of Novartis for patent was rejected by the Supreme Court. Now, evergreening is the same thing. It is an abuse of patent system. It is being already dealt in the case of Novartis. Basically, it is after securing primary patent, innovators instead seek to reset the 20-year clock by subsequently filing patents that are minor variants of the patent compound called secondary patents. That is, in order to thrive in the market or in order to have an upper hand in the market, even after 20 years, they'll continue to have patents over the products so that they can charge high prices. In the pharmaceutical trade, when brand name companies patent new inventions that are really just slight modifications of old drugs, it's called evergreen. They try to evergreen the patents by just adding small modifications or changing the compounds, changing the compositions a little, and then making it and branding it as a wholly new drug, when in fact it is actually an artificial modification of the existing one. It is just done so as to mock the patent system. So this practice was found out, and that is why evergreening as a practice, as an abusive practice, is being tried to avoid through this system. I mean, through the Section 3 Clause D clause, and it allows a prolonged monopoly that unfairly denies the public access to medicines at equitable prices, because access to medical health care, that being a constitutional fundamental right under Article 21, that is being denied because of this abusive practice. And the decision Novartis case was able to distinguish real invention from trivial tweaks. Anti-evergreening provisions are also contained in the Patent Act. Main one is Section 3 Clause D, but along with that, 3 Clause E, the admixture clause, 3 Clause I, 3 Clause, it's actually 3 Clause J. Yes, 3 Clause J, the plants and animals, biotechnological process of patenting. All these things are also can also be read together when dealing about the evergreening concept. But in spite of all these case laws, all these interpretations, from the period of 2016 to 2019, around 6,000 pharmaceutical drugs have been patented, meaning that even in spite of these laws, evergreening is still an evergreen process in India. It is never going to end in India, and in most of the cases, they are granted patents in spite of trivial tweaks. So let's hope more stringent implementation will be found. Even though the act and the interpretation is stringent, its implementation is not. That is the reason why still there are evergreening products, especially pharmaceutical products, and majority of the drugs. That too, especially with reference to very life-threatening diseases, they still hold high amount of prices, and most of these are from international companies itself. So this is because there is evergreening and there is patent protection for them. So that's all regarding pharmaceutical products. I hope the topic is clear. Thank you.